Truth be told, I haven't bought presents for several years because I'm a mean mama.
Run around.
So we don't have a lot of money. I think most people don't have a lot of money for Christmas gifts. I see sometimes articles or YouTube videos where people are like, I got a second job to pay for Christmas gifts or a seasonal job to pay for Christmas gifts. And I can't with that. I know that part of it is that I'm a mom of young kids. So this whole view might shift as they get older. But for now, it doesn't really make sense to me to spend a lot of money on toys that a lot of them they're going to outgrow. I really like the idea of gifting experiences. And I'm a huge proponent of that. But we focus more on the experiences throughout the year as opposed to stuff like gifting them the experience right at Christmas because they're not to the age where they can really connect that this is their gift that's going to happen several months later. My oldest son really likes water. So we've done swim lessons or pool memberships, things like that he really enjoys. And then he'll go like every week during the summer, multiple times a week during the summer or whatever. But it's not linked to Christmas. Sometimes we'll link something to his birthday, but he doesn't really know we're doing that anyway. So I think gifting experiences is a really good compromise for people who want to gift gifts, but maybe don't want to just do plastic or gift stuff that's going to be outgrown quickly. So along those lines, there's this minimalism versus consumerism dichotomy, and I am definitely the minimalist in our family. So we're not a minimalist family. I am the minimalist in our family. And so for me, I have really decided that as far as the consumerism, because I feel like we all kind of acknowledge that we're a consumerist culture. We're driven to consume. There's all these status symbols and there's this idea that like shopping can make you happy or like, that you self-medicate by shopping to get that kind of dopamine hit to your brain and everything. And I don't think it makes you happier. It just kind of makes you excited for a little bit and then it goes away very quickly and then you just have more stuff to get rid of. As far as Christmas, I think we all acknowledge that it's become a consumerist holiday. It's become something that's gotten a little bit out of control. But we acknowledge it and then we still participate in it. So this is kind of our way of literally not buying into the consumerism of the holiday. We do that to varying degrees depending on the year for different reasons. This is probably the most minor of reasons. But my oldest son is autistic and mostly nonverbal. A lot of the stuff that goes on with the holidays is stressful for him. So he doesn't like opening gifts. He doesn't want to be there for that when we do it for like his birthday and we actually make him sit there and open the gifts his grandparents get him or whatever. He doesn't like doing that. He doesn't really understand what we're doing with the decorations and stuff. So decorating the tree, we still decorate the tree. But it's very minimal, and I don't like buying new decorations just to put up and take down for just one holiday. I don't particularly like decorating, and that's, I don't mind nice, tasteful decorations, but there's an element too of a lot of waste is generated through all of these decor items that aren't high quality stuff and are just kind of part of that consumerism fest. So Finn doesn't really understand what we're doing with some of the holiday celebrations, and he doesn't really want to sit through it. And then all of the get-togethers can already be overstimulating. He does love the lights, so we'll go see lights or something sometimes, but it doesn't really feel like something he is able to participate in very well at this time. While that doesn't mean that the rest of us shouldn't do anything, it does mean that there's a kind of a limit that we're trying to find a good balance for doing things for the holidays that can still involve our whole family. The main reason that we're really not gifting our kids specifically any physical gifts this year is for religious reasons. Hear me out. Okay. I feel that the consumerist culture that we have and the ideas around Christmas specifically are kind of enmeshing with whatever people are celebrating. Syncretism, where a religion merges with the culture around it and then becomes kind of indistinguishable from and takes on the values of that culture and kind of enmeshes them into the religion. And it becomes its own separate thing. There's definitely those people that say, oh, we shouldn't celebrate Christmas. It's not really a Christian holiday. It's a pagan holiday. And then there's the people that are like, Jesus is the reason for the season. And you can't say Xmas. No Xmas. Like, that's bad. Not happy holidays. It must be Merry Christmas. Christ back in Christmas or whatever. And we don't really fall in either of those camps. So I grew up in a household that was a vocal proponent of Jesus is the reason for the season kind of side of things. And with that, there was this general understanding that it's not about the gifts. And so while we can say that it's not about the gifts over and over again, when you have little children and you're gifting them a whole bunch of stuff and giving them a dopamine shot to the brain of sitting there like waiting to open the gifts, having those gifts under the tree and everything, it is impossible, having grown up in that and been a child in that, to not believe it's about the gifts. You could say it's not about the gifts. You can know, like, I'm not supposed to want the gifts. And still your whole self is just waiting for the gifts as a kid. So because I know what it's like to grow up in that, be perfectly capable of giving lip service to the holiday not being about the gifts and still feeling in my entire being that the holiday is about the gifts, I am trying to find ways to do it differently with my kids. So then it's been a discussion of, okay, what is this holiday about? What's the purpose? And I know some people say, oh, well, we give gifts to symbolize the gift of Jesus. And I don't know, that it feels just kind of like an excuse to give like lots of gifts and to get lots of gifts. And I think that it's hard as parents because we like giving stuff to our kids. We like seeing their little faces light up in the anticipation. And that's the same reason we give them sugar. Like, we enjoy that. Like, they like it. We love it. It's great. Okay. But I feel like it's muddled the meaning. And whether you believe in any kind of religion that celebrates Christmas, Hanukkah, anything like that, or don't, I think it's gotten lost in our consumerist culture. I think we've gotten wrapped up in that, and that the reason behind the holiday takes a back seat. So whether your reason for the holiday is religious or time off from work, time to spend with your family, whatever the reason is, I think that there's got to be better ways of celebrating it. And like, even looking back at the old St. Nicholas kind of tradition, a lot of that was about gifting to the poor, and we don't see as much of that anymore. And so we're trying to figure out how to foster meaning in the Christmas season. And while gifts are fun, I don't think they do an adequate job of fostering meaning. We're not giving my kids Christmas gifts because my husband, even though he is not a minimalist, agrees with me on these points, but he is very sad about it because he also enjoys the gift giving for Christmas. So we are considering compromising with a family gift, but we are also on the lookout for other fun ideas that don't involve physical gifts and don't involve sugar shots to the brain. So if you have suggestions, please let me know. Something we usually do is pick out like a compassion gift or whatever. Heifer International, some of those organizations have where you can select something to give to a community or a family that does not have. So that's I think that's a fun thing to do, to look through the catalog and pick something out. Like, you can give them goats or chickens or something like that can actually help somebody with their livelihood. Maybe that's not even the best way to facilitate something like that. I think if my kids can handle it when they're older, I think volunteering could be a fun thing. I knew someone growing up who was a volunteer firefighter and used to hand out gifts on Christmas to kids that didn't have very much. So I think there's got to be better ways to celebrate the Christmas season, and I'm still figuring it out myself, exactly how I want to do that. But I know how I don't want to do that.